Hey everyone, in this video we are going to learn about how to configure a Samba storage on a network. So by definition, Samba is a free software which works on the SNB networking protocol and can be used on Windows and Linux machines. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and install Samba storage and see how we can access it from a client. So as you can see on my screen, I've got two fresh Linux machines. The one ending with .11 is my server and the one ending with .12 is my client. So I would be running a few set of commands which you can see on my screen and install Samba on the server side first. So yum install samba-y is going to install the Samba package on my machine. For your information, I'm using a CentOS 9 machine. I'm going to create a test user which does not have access to any shell on this server for security purposes so that it can only be used for the Samba package. I'm going to use SMB password -a test user 1 and add this user in my Samba. I'm going to use the same password as well. Now I'm going to create a directory called Samba storage inside my /srv path, and I will give the ownership permissions to it for the test user one which I created earlier. Now if you want to just have a quick look on the permissions. All right, now let's go ahead and configure our Samba configuration file, which is in etc samba smb.conf. We'll come to the bottom of this file, press I for insert, and copy this in our configuration file. So the syntax is extremely important here. Samba share 1 is going to be the name which I would be using on my client, and the path is which we just created as a directory, and the valid users is going to be test user 1. It's going to be writable, browsable, and I'm going to allow it for my client. This is my client IP. I'm going to press colon, write and quit out of this page, and I'm going to enable and start my SMB and NMB services. All right, so we have configured the Samba package on the server side. Now, if for testing purposes, I'm not using any SE-Linux on this machine. As you can see, uh, the SE-Linux status is disabled and the firewall as well is disabled. However, if you had SE-Linux and firewall enabled, you would just need to run these additional commands to be able to tell SE-Linux that this is a Samba storage. Now, we are going to switch to our client-side configuration. I'm going to install CIF utilities. I'm going to create a directory in /mnt where I can mount my Samba storage. I'll clear my screen and run the mount command with -t as in type. It's going to be a CIFS type and use -o as the option. And I'm going to use the username and password, and this would be my server IP and the Samba share 1 which we configured. We want this to be mounted on MNT test share which we created. So I'm going to just copy it as it is here. We'll run df-h, and as you can see, this Samba share has been mounted on test share. So let's go inside MNT and test share and run some commands like touch and touch bb. So I've created a couple of files over here. Let's quickly see on our server if they are getting created or not. So we were on this path where we had created our Samba, which was srv slash Samba storage. We are going to list the contents here using LL. And as you can see, the files which we created from the client are being displayed here as well. So if you also want to make sure when client machine boots up, the Samba storage is already mounted, you can use these fstab entry examples and run mount A so that once the client system boots up, you are able to find that your Samba store is already in a mounted state. So if you don't want to use the password entry in the fstab file, you can use a credentials keyword and the path of your password file. And in that particular file, you can just add username and password just like this in two separate lines, and it would work just fine. Well, I hope this was informative. I would like to thank you for viewing.